up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from Marty Music. Thank you so much for subscribing right here to the new channel. Really appreciate it. I'm bringing you one of the iconic rock songs of all time, AC/DC, Back in Black. I'm going to show you all the parts and hope you enjoy it. So let's dig right in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. So if we take an E major chord, and then that index finger that's on the first fret of the G, we just mute it. We don't press down. So when you do that, you get an E power chord, also known as an E5. We're going to be focusing on the lower strings, but it's nice to just know the full power chords there. But we're going to focus more on the thick strings. So we do that, and we cut it off. I'm muting it with my right hand there, so bum. Then we're going to do a D5 or a D power chord, and you just take a regular D chord, and we mute the middle finger note. How dare I? And once again, we're really kind of focusing on the D and G. If you get the B in there, or you strum the whole thing, it's fine. So that's the D power chord by muting that. Okay, so we have E. Then we go to that D, but we mute that high E string, and we go da da da, down up down, and then we mute it with the right hand. So you have E, D D D. Then we do an A power chord, and we do the one finger A chord like this, open A, and then second fret D, second fret G, and that's the A power chord. We don't want those high strings. Those are just muted, so I'm focused on pressing down on the D and G. So we have E power chord, D power chord, A power chord, down, up, down. So now we have a great E minor pentatonic scale lick, and I'm doing my alternate picking. If it's too hard, you want to practice that, but you could do pull-offs. But the articulation sounds different when you pick the notes. So we're going to go ring finger on the 3 of the high E, and then open. Same thing on the B string, 3-0. And then middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and we're going to bend it up a half step, back down, and open. And it happens really fast, but here it is slow. So that G string's just one pick. And definitely have a Chuck Berry influence here on that second riff. But let's do the first one again, super slow, and then we'll learn that second lick. Here we go. And you know, the original recording, they do. He's just keeping the tempo, and he's just muting, going. Tss, tss, E, D D D, A, rest. Same chords again. Now we're going to do this next lick, which is just great for your guitar dexterity. You can use your index and ring finger for the whole thing. I'm used to using my pinky. I'm going to leave that up to you, but we're going to start with the 2nd fret on the A string, then 4th fret on the E string, then back to the 2nd fret on the A string, then 5th fret on the E string, then back to the 2nd fret again, and then all the way up. You know, our hand has to kind of jump around all the way up to the 7th fret. And if you look, that 2nd fret and 7th fret, it's the same note. but it's got that Chuck Berry thing. It just sounds different than, right? So that's the way they do it. 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7. So it's just going up 4, 5, 6, 7, each time going back to the second fret. And when you get up to there, you kind of hear it slide back to get back into the riff again. So you put all that together and you get this. Now in full time, 7, 8. Now we need to go to the next section, which we could call the chorus or the pre-chorus, depending on how you just identify it as the next section. So we're going to start with the A power chord. Then we go to an E power chord. So we just scoot it up. And we're going to just do the one finger E power chord for that. So you can focus on the two strings, the A and D for this one, and the E and A strings for this one. So, and then with the index already there, we can play a B power chord, which would be the 2nd fret and the 4th fret. I like to put my pinky on the 4th of the G as well. Just more room to cover if I'm not being accurate with my picking. It's still a B power chord. And we're going to go like this. And we just take our index off to get the open A in there. Back to the 2nd fret. So you put that all together. And then look, my index finger's ready to scoot back over to the A. So it does that twice. Then we're going to do a G, but it's a G power chord. Same idea where we're going to be muting some strings. I like to do it this way. Middle finger on the root, 3rd fret of the E string, and it mutes the A string. Then we get the open D and G in there. But you can get your ring finger on the 3rd of the B, and that's a great G power chord. I like to double up and put my pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. And you don't even have to hit it. We're, once again, just digging into the thicker strings. But if you get the whole thing, it sounds great. And it's still a power chord. So check it out. A, E, B, A, B, A, E, B, A, E. And then we go to that G, and we're going to go G power chord, D power chord. Just remember, that's muted. Then the A power chord. So G, D, A. And then middle finger is going to grab the 3rd fret of the low E. And you just give it a little nudge, pull down. Back to the A power chord. And you can see my thumb. This is natural to me from playing for a long time, but my thumb, without having to think about it, just mutes that low E when I don't want to hear it ring out. It just gives me a cleaner sound. But don't worry about that if you're not doing that yet. That's like just with the evolution of your playing. So here's that section. A, E, B, A, B, A, E, B, A, E. Now we go to the G. G, D, A, G, A. And you do that twice. Then we go to the first one again. A, E, B, A, B, A, E, B, A, E. Then we're going to let power chords ring out on G. Back in black. You said back in black. And so the back in black triple is the D power chord. So let's play that whole section. Here it is really slow. Alright, so the rhythm guitar underneath the solo, and please feel free to request the solo for the song in the comments below. See how many of you guys want it. I'm sure most of you want it. I've been working on it a bit already. But let me know if you want me to fast track it. So we can do, it's kind of like a blues. If you have the open E string and the index finger on the second, and then you have the fourth, and then you have the fifth. Right? It goes like this. Same rhythm as the regular part. So you got the E power chord, but then pinky goes, or your ring finger if you can do it, but to the 5th fret, and you still got the open E in there. Da, da, da. Then ring finger to the 4th of the A with the open E. And then da, 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 da on the E power chord. And you can play a full one, muting that G, or you can do an E power chord just straight like that. So. And the second time, E, A, E, A, E. So it's. Right? And as the solo builds, they open it up with the open strings, and there's a few ways you can do it, but I think I'm just going to take an executive decision here and show it to you this way. This is just as the solo builds. You can do an E power chord right here, which would be 7, 9, 9, and then the open B and high E, like that. And it's just a fuller sounding thing. And then the same thing down here, and you can let those strings ring out. Then all you do is just move your index down a half step, like that. So, like that. So it's just a variation. If you wanted to play the rhythm the original way the whole time, that'll work. But that's what they do, and then they get finally back into that B section of the song. It's my favorite part of the song, and we're going to do it like this. This is how I'm going to teach it to you. Open E. Then we're going to do this kind of thing where my fingers are kind of lined up, and I'm going to go. So pinky's on the 5, ring finger's behind it on the 4, index is behind it on the 2nd, and I'm pulling that off. So open E, then I pull this off. But then I go back to the 4th, so. And then I'm going middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, so. And if I'm looking down now at my hand, I'm going. I'm picking that 4th of the A with a down pick, and then up pick to the 3rd. Then we just simply do the second, it's not simple, but we do the second half of the original riff. 2nd fret on the A, 5th on the E, 2nd, 6th, 2nd, 7. Put that together. And I'm very used to alternating my picking. That's something that you may want to practice with some basic scales for a while. But that's, it's a technique that you're going to want to get down. Get down!
Get down! Get to the chopper!
Then we do the exact same thing down a string. So open A string, and then the little pull-off thing is on the D string. So. Back to E. And that is the trickiest part of the song, but the coolest part of the song, I think. And then you've got the there's nothing new to learn from this point on. Those are all the parts. I think on the original studio recording, it goes back into soloing and it fades. But it has a little kind of fake ending that's on an A chord. And then you've got the whole thing. So while we're here, let's just play through all the parts together. How about that? All right, here we go. 7, 8. Uh. Riff. Out of the sack. All right, there was a lesson. Thanks again for hanging out. Thank you so much for the continued support, subscribing right here to Marty Music. And I'd also love to hear from you. So please, any song requests or lesson requests, anything at all that you'd like to see me do, I want to hear from you. So please leave it in the comments below and I'll check it out. And I just want to say thanks again. And I can't wait to see you in another video real soon. See you later.